Okay, we're back again and we have to do the part 2 of the trial. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Well, fuck you, Aochi. You deserve it. You didn't even investigate properly, so you are at fault. Ugh, sorry. Why are you apologizing? Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down in our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. Damn, Kazuma! Taking the words out of my mouth. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. Not like you know much. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert, but I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Let's go!
Let him cook! Let him cook now!
Damn! It's speechless. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. I can't find the pun in Giselle Brett. Yes! Your Excellency! Oh my god, why? Dude just puts his head like a thump on the table. What? Why is there a swan on your head? Well, what delight it is to welcome such a fine, gentle woman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Such a sim, bro. Tea, someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? I cannot do a British accent, okay? I'm not even gonna try. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my crew... Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So dear lady, once again, they may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Damn, don't even show your eyes. Yeah. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why is she writing in like cursive? I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? Oh, so she's speaking a different language? But British people only can speak English, right? Like English people. Other people like Irish and Welsh speak other languages. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha, you'll obviously do fine in English, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Rinosuke. Oh, okay, so both of them can speak English. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson at the... Wilson at the time. Is that correct? Okay, this is gonna be annoying. Can you not speak Japanese? Why the fuck are you in Japan then? He says yes. This could take some time. Exactly, dude, you know, skin me are the same. Even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Oh, brother. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over the photographic print? Seeing as you were as unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator perhaps? Oh my god, I'll have to do this video. Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Oh, live, man. Oh, I love her outfit though. Order in court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Witness testimony. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Oh, me and the judge are the same.
Yes!
Oh wait, what? I didn't read it. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quite, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this Snow White angel. Okay, that's
gotta be racist.
sounds
There's
very
no
racist.
way.
I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Oh my god, that's so racist. It sounds racist. To your own country, that too. Oh my god. Still making the same mistakes, Rinosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. Oh, but he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. Testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Bro, in her big fucking gown. I could hide that. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere. Oh my god, me and Rinosuke are the same. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. We have to prove where the gun was located on her. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ah, this is ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about anything rash, Rinosuke. I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means the lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Giselle, Brett, shut the fuck up while you're smiling. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Excellency. Let's press on this.
Yes!
After 2 p.m. in fact, that's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. No. Oh god. My decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. It was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Okay, let's press this.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at horror clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering? Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. We heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. But that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. The victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. It appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Rinosuke, about the witness's last statement? Oh, is it meaningful? I want to see the records. Take lunch can be seen. Wait, there's only one glass. There's only one glass. Is that the thing? It's very meaningful, I think. Must be that. The last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? Oh? Significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? Significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Rinosuke. myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated. Let's press this again. So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. 1 glass is missing. Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak. That was for you, Miss Brett. The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. Damn, bro. I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Bro, true, sashimi is so good. I prefer sashimi than beefsteak. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? I agree. True, come to think of it. First time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. There's 1 glass missing. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Let me press this.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. Why are you sucking her dick out, you? English is the future. We must all speak English. Oh god. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Stop smiling, bitch. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Oh no. Go back. I need to press.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but... Oh my god. But all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes! There was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady in the... That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusation could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Now, last thing.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely, I verified it personally. Eh? You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, I'm not. Are you kidding me, Hosonaga? That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. What a useless detective. Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. You guys are so incompetent. Or, there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. This is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You can at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. Ryunosuke is done with. Ouchie. He's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out and out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. Look, this is pretty privileged, man. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well, I feel half dead already. The fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. No, there's an inconsistency. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of the exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay, let me go. Let's go. Okay, this one. Let's present this! Ah! That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's due with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is. It's odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. How can you cheers with just one glass? But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over miniature? What? I don't even know. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae.
You say? I'm not even going to practice. Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. Oh, there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. Oh? What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been there at all, she's saying. But the glass on her side is there. Like, I saw the glass with the beefsteak, so that's her glass. So she took the glass of the... I'm 90% sure she's taken the glass of Dr. Wilson to hide something. Probably poisoned or something, right? Sorry. Oh my god. And she's in the medical faculty, so sure you could get some kind of poison. There, as I showed the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Or taking stuff from the scene of the crime is wrong and illegal. I don't know about in this current Japan, but it's illegal right now. Oh please. You must remember that the student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd! Oh really? Do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It seemed that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. You do not know that. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Oh! Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I don't think it's satisfying at all. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? No. Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's deeper significance there, it's the handbag. You can carry a gun, right? Wait, the lady put the glass in the handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was a handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'll pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? Oh my god, bro. It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard from the defendant was when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. A true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag? Not Brett's. Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Idiots. Idiots. Order! What is the meaning of this, Inspector? Meaning of what, Prosecutor Auchi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure those uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Oh my god. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. We put ourselves in a mess. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. How can you forget evidence? This photographic print. This This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. There's the glass. There's something on the guy's hand, which we'll probably have to figure out. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Oh my god. Oh, Rinosuke, the things you go through. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. No, I'm not enough. That's not enough. This thing over here. A burn mark. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. Ah, don't give up. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. No, not even Kazuma! Kazuma? I'm sorry, Rinosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? No. I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat while the strong eat. Oh my god. You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. Can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I did not commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this right around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. Smug little. Rinosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Ooh! He's standing up for himself. Let's go. Yes! Wait, Your Excellency. Rinosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurish is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Rinosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I'm desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by a response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Oh, that's kind of menacing. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosanaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Over here. And... present. Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? Wait, you know what? There's nothing over here. There's something. Where could he have got the burn mark from? Probably got it from here, right? Because usually beefsteaks and stuff are like kind of this burning something. Not burning. I'm sorry, cooking it on the stove kind of thing. Don't see anything over here. Oh, here. It's probably where he got the burn mark from. You know what? I got it. In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as prosecution Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Also, wait. If a doctor, like, the beefsteak, that was her, like, Giselle, what was her name? Giselle was eating it. How did, like, if Dr. Wilson's hand reach over to the beefsteak? Unless somebody took his hand and put it there, right? Yeah, I think so, that's... Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. He would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. No. Nah. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to pry the shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than a conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between the burn and the case. Whew. Take a deep breath, Ryunosuke. This is the moment of truth. Time to find the evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. Evidence that demonstrates the inextricable an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. It's this.
Yes!
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burns? It's this.
Yes!
I keep on pressing A instead of Y. The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah! Ah! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Oh! This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Brunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim may have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. And wait, so if he probably would shout if you get like this badly burned. I would shout. Why wasn't he shouting? But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Damn! It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain, and that's exactly what I said. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I have not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter! But he was still doing waiter job, so he's kind of a waiter. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, nor on the day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant and the old antique dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. The question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Brunosuke, do you think? Oh, was he probably dead before the thing? Oh! Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Oof, 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 oof. I love these moments in the game. It's so epic, man. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Ooh. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. Oof, I love the calm hit when the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day. The professor was already dead. Woo! That's madness! Oh my god. Ouchie is gonna destroy my throat with his screams. Order, order, order please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Ugh! Ugh! Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. This is the first case as well. Oh my god. Phoenix Wright's first case was so funny though. I will never forget it. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Who? Who? What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'll be delighted to help. Okay, so she can speak Japanese. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Ah, Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking to an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. I'm not doing a British accent, and my throat cannot even handle my normal accent. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tone as much as possible. My god, bro. Well, it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen, so I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you're the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We're truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously offered us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Oh my god. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I had raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's birth is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you have noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Bro, why don't the prosecution side get scrutiny, okay? Why am I getting always the scrutiny? They've fucked up so many times. I've literally fucked up none. What is wrong with people? I don't even know how court stuff works though, so... Oh, get your head in the game. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. We're already seeing so much growth in Ryunosuke. In like literally just this one child. I think getting accused of murder can give a lot of personal growth as well. The victim's death. Okay, now let me press.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. You think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly... the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Oh god, what? Ha ha ha, what fun! You hadn't realized. Dear lady's absolutely right. As your friend, you have embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brain imagine such a thing? No. No, that's human nature. You scream, bro. Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway. Okay, let's press this.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. It explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. No. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. Okay, let's press this.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes! Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to his innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had been cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Bro, but like Giselle said, your investigative thing, whatever stuff is in its infancy, so you don't know, man. until you're able to show the good evidence to disprove this, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ugh! Now let's press this.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace, if someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. Poison. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're gonna have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuki Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. I don't know what evidence. But of course, this country is okay.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Oh? Doesn't even occur to your naive detective to try to preserve the crime scene. I am trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand? Haha, a killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Hosonaga was being weird. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a clink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. How about the person standing next to her? Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present any opening maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright, then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on the last statement again. Let's press her on the last statement.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Wait.
Skip. Okay, here. Can I shift? What the fuck do I shift? Yes, there it is again! Detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in stand with Miss Brett as an interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden... What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they are usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. Let's shift. Okay, and pursue.
Excuse me!
Excuse me! What's the meaning of this? Did I surprise you that badly? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. Healy was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looks like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who is testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Oh yeah. Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. Hosonaga, please help out. Lady is right, our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. Oh, yeah, I guess so. He's a detective, so it's fine. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water, I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's action, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Okay, nice. Miss Brett, you know what? Let me check. Examine. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. Okay, we have this. Nothing else. Okay, so okay, nothing. Just the name in French. Can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? Seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Ahem. Okay. I don't know. You know what? Let me present. I'll present the bottle.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from the bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, we who was sitting at the same table as the professor and unable to slip... Oh my god, I fucked it up. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusation could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
I spoke that in one breath. This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful... Shut up! Oh my god, that is so funny. It is you who should be silent. Of course! Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we've tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. Okay, every toxin that is available in the country. What if another country... She's British, so she could have got something from another country. You could find no trace of poison of any description in the a bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No! No! Oh my god! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You have successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. Wait, oh my god, I didn't read it. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot at the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. Court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? I don't think so. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke, I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Oh my god.
Hold it!
Ooh! Oh, it's her! I don't know your name. Please, wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba. Susato, okay. Judicial assistant to the defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Oh, to be continued. Oh god. Fuck man, this game. Okay, let's save our current progress. Okay, part 3, right? Oh my god, it's such a long case.